Hello, my wonderful friends. Megas with you on a beautiful day in Asha. If you're brand new to the channel, we're Zoroastrians. We are the Magi, and we're going to talk about prayers that actually get answered. And you know, Zoroastrianism, you know us as the Magi, the wise men who followed the star, brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. But did you know that magic and miracles were named after the Magi? Because we have the original religion with the original prophet, with his original prayers, still to this day. And the beautiful thing about them, they work. And my friends, I have seen this about probably more than 99% of people's prayers are never answered. And it's because the way they were taught to pray is the exact thing that keeps them from having their prayers answered. Zoroastrianism teaches us the correct way to pray. I'm going to share that with you. And you know, I'm not beating anybody up. I know I've spent many days in tears. Why aren't my prayers answered? And the religion I grew up in, I'm not even joking. I didn't have one prayer answered where I had to laugh. I remember as a young man laughing. I mean, it's kind of a mad laugh, like I'm going to laugh or I'm going to cry. But I mean, just the odds of all the things I asked for, one of them should have worked out. Just dumb luck. Something should have happened. And I remember telling God, I said, if you just do this for me, I could show everyone that you're real and that this is the true religion. Just do it. And I did everything they showed me and told me to do for years and years. And my friend, it became just so ridiculous. Not one was answered. Then I found the writings of the Magi. And my friend, if you'll give me 30 minutes, I don't even know if it'll take that long to share this with you. I'll promise you this. Your whole prayer life will change. And here's what will change. Your prayers will start to be answered. All of them, my friends. And you can do this. If you watch it to the end, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to trust this guy and I'm going to spend my valuable life, energy, and time watching a YouTube video. If I don't deliver, you can go to the end of the video, into the comments, and say, I'll watch the whole thing through. This guy's a liar. He's a fraud. Don't watch it. And I will leave your comment there for others to read. But if what I say is true, and it does make a difference, I'm going to ask you, please go to the comments and say, this works. Asha is the original religion of the original all good God actually works. This is good stuff, my friends, because there might be someone out there that just doesn't like me or what we're doing, their team, whatever religion they are, and they're just going to put something negative. So my Magi, my Zoroastrians, the people that this actually touches and works for, make sure you go to the comments and say what it's done for you. All right, let's get to the message. You're going to love this one. We're going to be actually in Zarathustra's Gathas. We're going to be in Asha 15. It's powerful.
Asha is, Asha is, Asha is. Asha is, Asha is.
All right, we're in Song 4 of Zarathustra's Gathas. It says, the Magi speak again, the forgotten word. My friends, what you're going to learn about prayer, it's nothing new, but it's an ancient truth that you're just going to remember because there's a divine spark in you, a book written in you that already knows this. And this word of the Magi will awaken it within you. It's the song, the prayer, the word that the world lost in its wanderings. Their breath restores the current of light, and all creation listens, for it remembers. My friends, the Magi's words are light. We go to that full God light, that divine spark that is in us, that is God, one with God, no separation. That's the word of the masters and the messiahs. My friends, that you and God are one, no separation. The world religions teach you when you pray that you're praying outside of yourself, that you're separated from what you are praying for. that changes today. Verse 2, happiness comes not by chance, but by the harmony of the good mind, vohumana. Vohumana is what we in the West here call the Christ mind. What was the word of the Christ, right? Verily, verily, I say unto you, he who holds my word has God life, good life. My friends, that word, not words, that word is that you and God are one. It's that knowing. And to know it, it's to be it, where you become the God, the good, the love, the peace, the joy, the power, the protection, the provision. My friends, the only prayer that is ever answered is the prayer that you become. You can't beg for it. You can't cut a deal for it. My friends, you must embody the thing that you desire. You know, there's one of the very first prayers ever written down. It's called Circle of Oath. And if there was a sick individual, they would put a ring of flour around their bed, and then they would pray the circle of oath. And what it was is that God and man are one, is what the whole prayer broke down to. And if this individual is God, God cannot get sick. If this individual is light, darkness cannot enter this light. And my friends, they saw as this circle, it was just pure light and God and protection and provision. My friends, and they would hold that. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he who holds my word becomes the word, has God life. That's the magic and the miracles of the Magi right there. The only prayer that is ever answered is the prayer you become. That's something I learned as a young man. I used to lay there and roll around on the ground and tears coming out of my eyes. And God, don't you care? And I'll try to cut deals. I'll stop doing this if you'll do it for me. Or I'll start doing this. I'll give to charity. Nothing worked, my friends. And I'll tell you what it is. God, good. It's just a constant flow. It's always a great example is I can see the beautiful sun out the window right here. But if I put the drape up, it just blocks it. It's still shining. And I can beg and I can cry and I can try to cut deals. My friends, but all I got to do is move the drape and the sun washes in and over me. My friends, it's the same with God. It's the same with your good. It's the same with your desires. My friends, it's already there. But what have you put? What drapes do you have in front of you? Is it wrong ideas of God? That's what's so important about the original religion. I'm going to save that for the end. That's a whole nother thing. It'll get me far too wound up. I want to teach right now. I want your prayers to become answered. But are you already starting to hear me? Is there something stirring inside of you? My friend, my God, can I give you an example? I was in Florida. I went on 3-4 month surf journey. I bought a trailer. I loaded it up with my surfboards and I headed off across America and I made the most wonderful friends and I surfed every day. But one of them, he was acting irregular towards the end of the day, and I started to recognize it, my friends, and come to find out he had OCD since he was a small child. He would go home and drink himself blacked out drunk every night. My friends, and I said, brother, before I leave Florida, you will be 100% healed. And do you know how I knew? Because I was healed from what he had. I saw it. Mine was from religious trauma. My friends, if you have OCD that's brought on by your religion, this video is going to do something else for you today. So he told me, he had money. He had a Mercedes and a nice home. He had a career that he ended up losing, lost his family, but he still had money. So he said, I have access to the finest doctors and medication and counseling. And he said, but it's getting worse all the time. He goes, he wanted to end his life. And I said, before I leave Florida, you will run up to me and say, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. I knew that was prophetic, my friends, because it just bubbled out of me. And I did the circle of oath every day. I said, before we go out and surf, we'd sit down. I didn't have flowers. I just drew a circle in the sand. And I said, inside this circle is pure light and darkness cannot enter. Inside this light, there are no devils because God inhabits this space. My friends, and we did it every day, just speaking truth. And guess what happened after so many months of just hearing the truth? My friend, the lie started to lose its grip until he believed it. And as soon as he believed it and he knew it and he became it, my friends, he was healed. And I love it. It's right before I was getting ready to leave Florida. I pulled up behind his Mercedes with a surfboard on top. My daughter was with me. He jumped out and he ran down the street going, I'm healed, I'm healed, I'm healed. The first time in 40 years, my friends, he had peace of mind. A prayer was answered. How many times that people come to me and say they did everything they were told to do. They went to the churches, had them anoint them with oil and pray over them. But my friends, the thing that made you sick is not going to heal you. My friends, they're not going to heal you when you're stuck in that looping lie with those false monster gods that get angry, jealous, hate, war, kill men, women, and children. The very thing that twisted your mind. You're not going to find healing in that organization. You got to go back to the original where God was just good, unmixed, undefiled, undiluted, pure light. My God, my God. Song 4, verse 3. He who lives by truth becomes its temple. The only prayer that is ever answered is the prayer you become. You find out who you are. You're not seeking something outside of you. You're not asking something outside of you. You are the temple. The God lives in you. That divine spark that is you. You and God one. No separation till you get to the point when you say, I am light and darkness cannot enter. I am one with God and the devils flee before me. I am divine health. Sickness and disease dies when it touches me. What else could it do? When Asha is invoked in word and deed, the powers of heaven draw near. This is the power of true prayer. We decree and declare love, dominion, and the mind of God. Verse 4, the one who holds Asha holds the keys of all blessing, health that does not fade, wisdom cannot err, and joy that cannot die. Verse 5, for Asha is the access of the worlds, and the one who knows it walks as a friend among stars. Their thoughts are creation itself. Their thoughts are creation itself. Your thoughts are creation itself. What are you thinking? What do you truly believe? That's what's rushing to you. And their speech is law to light. Verse 6, the wise one delights in such a soul. Through the good mind they are made whole, and through right they are made eternal. Dominion, immortality, peace. These are garments they wear. My friends, we become the attributes of God. You become the protection. You become the power. You become the peace. You can walk into an atmosphere that is chaotic and disordered, but when you walk in, you bring Asha, order, harmony. You change the atmosphere. You're not begging. You just are it, and you create it, and your words are light, and your words are true. And you'll discover the lie is a lie. The illusion is illusion. The devils aren't real. They're not what was, is, and forever shall be. They might seem real and scary, but they're the little r real. And when the big R real comes, they're rendered no thing. Verse 7. Are you guys enjoying this? Go to the comments and say Asha is. My God, someone go to the comments and say Asha is. When the word is pure, heaven bends to hear. For every sound aligned with Asha calls the divine spark forth from silence into form. Matter of fact, we're going to do a meditation at the end of this, of that silence. My friends, you're going to see when you set everything down, what's left is God, is good. You know, someone was just asking me today, Megas, how do I become a Zoroastrian? And I said, brother, There's nothing you have to join, right? Religion is just a belief of the heart. The only thing you need to do is just set everything you were told, every lie about God and yourself in this world, set it all down. Go to that silence, and you'll see what's left is what is. And what is God. And what is good. And what is Asha, truth, order, harmony, justice. The very world and fabric and substance of the world is good, is harmony. My friends, you just open the drape and you just set down the veils that are blocking the sun. It's right there. It's always been there. Verse 8, thus by thought, by word, by deed, the unseen becomes seen. Heaven is not distant. It is spoken into being by those who remember the original word. Asha 13, the original word of the good religion is all good comes from the Creator, and no evil comes from him. From this original word, the spiritual world is made straight, and the material world comes into order. Verse 9, O seeker of the good, keep Asha before you always. Let truth be your breath, and a good mind your companion. Then all things shall turn to your good. The lie shall fall away like shadow from dawn, and the earth shall again be bright. For Asha is the light of every soul that chooses to awaken to its own divine dominion. Last verse. And so the attributes of Mazda flower within the heart that holds Asha, wholeness, immortality, light. For when truth lives in thought, word, and action, Asha is actualized, and the world is made new. When you embody truth, creation itself is renewed. The only prayer that is answered is the prayer you become. You want love, you become love. You want peace, you become peace. It's all about resonance. It rushes to you, just like when you hold fear and doubt and worry and those scary monster gods of the world religion. That's what rushes to you, and that's how they keep you controlled. My friends, speaking for myself and my other wonderful friends that have been healed from OCD and from religious trauma, they were never broken. They were misinformed. OCD, born of religious fear, is not a chemical failure. It's a looping lie. Set the lie down. God is just good. He's the love without the hate. He's peaceful. He's not a warring God. You can never be separated from him. He's always just shining his light of goodness upon you. That's all that is in his nature. He's not on a continuum. He never gets angry. He never hates and judges you. God is the highest principle of good, and that's all it is. And you attune yourself to that. You restore God's image. You attune yourself, align to that. And it changes your mind. It changes your world. If you got your book, go to Asha 15. Asha by Winston Head, $3.83 at Amazon. We take no money for ministry. Tell the truth. You speak the truth with your very life. Again, the only prayer that is answered is the prayer you become. We speak our prayer with what we are. That's our power, Magi. Giving true witness, a man will be saved. Only think and speak truth to yourself, and it will form. Right? It's not how we're trying to present an image to anyone else. It's how we speak to ourselves. I am. What are you saying? What do you truly believe at a heart level? I am what? That's what's rushing to you. Think God's highest idea of truth Asha, and live. Keep the power of truth in mind. That's our power, my friends, truth. Make it your model, right? Attune yourself to it. Trust God and let it be, because it is. It already is. You'll see everything you wanted, every good thing is already there. God is already here right now. You've just been blinded with the veils of false stories. And the sad thing is, a lot of people were told these false stories were good, God. We should have known. They weren't good. I'm not trying to pick on anyone, but can you see it now? You know, many of you know I went to Bible college, and the stories I heard, like Jephthah. And if you're of the Abrahamic religion, don't shut me off. Just listen. It's okay. But just think about it. Maybe you have a reason. I went to apologetics course. Their reasons weren't good enough for me, but maybe you can justify this. But Jephthah, he made a deal with Jehovah and said, if I go in and kill the men, women, and children, bring back the spoils, I'll sacrifice the first person that comes out of my home. He came home, killed the men, women, and children, brought back the spoils to the Lord. His daughter walked out, said with a tambourine, even daddy's home, slit her throat, offered her as a burnt sacrifice to Jehovah. And you're thinking, well, Megas, that's Old Testament. Jephthah was in the New Testament, in the Hall of Faith, where they praised all the great men of honor and faith. He is a great man of valor, they said, in the New Testament, because he kept his promise and sacrificed his daughter to Jehovah. Matter of fact, they loved him so much, he remained a judge in Israel till the day he died. The soldiers were allowed to have little women, children, sex slaves. They killed the men, women, and children, but the little girls, they kept as sex slaves. Well, they washed their little naked bodies outside the city for 7 days. Then it made it okay in the sight of Jehovah. Did you ever feel anything? Maybe this religion isn't for you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just showing you what prayers work and what haven't for me. Maybe that's the kind of religion you like. Maybe you love smiting enemies. That's the perfect. Abrahamic religions are perfect for you. But if that's not what you are, if that rubs you the wrong way, maybe you came to this for the right reason. Joshua, right? Everyone loves Joshua. My pastor named his son after Joshua. Achan kept some of the treasure, right? Joshua said, go and kill men, women, children, bring back the treasure to God, but don't touch any of God's money. Achan kept some, buried it under his tent. Joshua found out. He called Achan and called him son. He said, son, come here. Tell me what you've done. Like there's going to be grace here. He said, Joshua, it's true. I kept some of it. He sent the other soldiers to go get his wife and innocent children and kill them in front of all the other soldiers. To show them, don't touch God's money. Is that, and they say that's God. God told him to do that. That's God wrote that book. If you saw that today on the news, would you think, well, that's obviously God, right? Of course you're going to kill innocent children and his wife because he stole some of the money. No. My friends, I could go on because I went to Bible college. I know all the stories that rub me the wrong way, and I quit the religion altogether. Still love Jesus. Magi love Jesus. We do. You know that. I mean, it's this Magi that came, said in book of Matthew, 2nd chapter, when the Messiah was born, that King Herod and all of Jerusalem were afraid, but it was the Magi that followed the star, came and worshiped, brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh, came and worshiped for my Zoroastrians that beat me up for talking about Jesus. I love Jesus. The order of the Magi love Jesus. Jesus was good. Jesus knew the loving Father, right? Remember when James and John said, when they refused their message, right? That town said they didn't want their message. James and John said, hey, Jesus, I got an idea. Let's call down fire from heaven like Elias did and burn these people up. Jesus said, you do not even know what spirit you are of. Well, what spirit was Elias of? That's what he was trying to show them. The loving Father. If you've seen me, you've seen the loving Father. You got to become one with God. That was his word. My friends, I've been lost. Jesus wouldn't be a Christian, by the way, for my Christians that are still watching this. Jesus taught the loving Father of the Magi. Let's do this. You probably heard me talk enough. The original religion, what sets us apart from all the others that followed, was our idea of the highest principle of God good as being pure good. Couldn't do it, couldn't get angry, couldn't hate, war, kill. You could never be separated from just, well, if you just dreamed up the best God you could dream, it's better than that. There's no, it seems like God's doing really bad things, but you just can't understand it. His ways are higher than your ways. There's none of that. Everything's reasonable. Slitting a little innocent baby lamb's throat was never be good. If you heard a voice, hey, sacrifice your son to show your obedience, a Zoroastrian would say, hell no, because that ain't God. That ain't good. My friends, that's a formula of Asha 13. Good is good, bad is bad. If everyone just knew that. But my friends, the world religions have twisted it. They tried to merge dark and light, and it's just a confusing mess that always, well, it causes OCD. It causes madness. You know, something I found fascinating is OCD, the first time it was documented was in the Catholic Church, from people counting their rosary beads, trying to make something happen by doing certain things in a certain order and saying certain chants, my friends. But the only prayer that is ever answered is a prayer you become. And they went mad because they're trying to do everything they're told to do in just a right order. But their hearts were dark because they had invited into them a dark God that they called light. Jehovah's, Allah's. They should have known from the stories, but they were talked out of it, just like that apologetics course I took. They tried to talk me out of it, but it was just too obvious in my face. Is it too obvious? Is it too in your face? That God is just good. Restore God's image. Attune yourself to that. Watch your prayer life change. So here's what I want to do. We're going to do a meditation. We're going to align and attune ourselves. Just take a long, deep breath and release. Now rest in the space between thoughts. Let the need to speak soften. Let the need to do something fade into the background. You're not waiting for God. You're noticing what remains when waiting ends. Notice the field of awareness that was there the entire time. It doesn't demand worship or belief. It simply is. And if thoughts arise, let them pass without engagement. You are not reaching for something new. You are allowing yourself to align with the flow of light. You're not aligning with something distant or separate, but aligning back to what was never absent. Prayer is to stop speaking over what is already present. Prayer is a return to what is. Asha is.
Asha is, Asha is, Asha is. Asha is, Asha is. Asha is, Asha is, Asha is. Asha is, Asha is. Asha is, Asha